Nick, Manton, welcome to Dansby Family Wellness. This is my podcast, video, YouTube channel, whichever you want to call it. It's content that I bring to parents and families so they can improve their health and fitness. That's how we got connected. And also, I like to know your story so it's relatable and that can help people understand, where they fit in with a health professional, a personal trainer, but also like a husband, a father to be, whichever it may be. So the biggest reason I got Nick on here, I met him, like he said, we were talking, catching up a little bit, 6 years ago at Anatomies. I got my personal trainer certification through National Academy of Sports Medicine. And I just went to Anatomies as I was at Southern and I wanted to train at a great gym. And we hit it off. He was working there and doing various other activities that he did on the side. And I know he's a drummer, and that was cool to see how that fit in with fitness. And I noticed he worked out quite a bit, but we knew a lot of the same people. We followed a lot of the same people. John Romanello was one of our people that we knew, and it was just cool to get someone like-minded in a different setting. And I was used to more of a smaller box gym, and Anatomies is huge, and it's got a lot of people and a lot of different tools, and it's a unique space, and I enjoyed it. But what I liked about Nick was, he was really interested in fitness to improve his health, not just his physique. And he was interested in pushing himself. And a lot of people, and this before he got his personal training certification. So not a lot of people want to actually grow muscle, and not a lot of people want to improve their health. But that's hard saying that as a personal trainer, but most people just want to, look good, feel all right, and not push themselves. So I really admire that with Nick. And to get to know him, I spent a lot of time outside of that talking, and we, built a good friendship. And I watched him grow, and we kind of, our paths separated, and he became a personal trainer. I noticed he was doing great at Anatomies, and then I think he went to Versus
That's great.
and was a personal trainer there and did great. And we know a lot of the same people, but I know, Nick, I want you to really explain your whole history. But man, I really enjoyed getting to know you at that time. But like, there has been a 6 year gap we have between each other, and we both grown in different ways. So I really want to know, yeah, explain yourself from, and I know that's hard to say, but just give me your history and with health and fitness and how it fit in from birth. Like, take me through your childhood, any big things that, you know, turned you towards fitness, and also health and how that works, and all the way up until now.
Awesome, man. Tommy, I'm so thankful to be on here, dude. This is my first time to be invited or be on a podcast, man. So this is pretty cool, dude. I'm excited about it. So
Me
yeah, man.
too.
Looking back, when I was younger, I grew up. My father was a coach, and he coached soccer, coached football, did baseball, and so I was always around athletes all the time. I'd say from birth and really until he retired in 2009. But
Wow.
obviously back then it was not about weight training and general health. It was just like that was the lifestyle that I knew. And of course I got involved at soccer at a young age and playing t-ball, things like that. And just doing it all. But as I got older, you know, I wanted to get better, obviously, and I wanted to seek
Yeah.
out, specific coaching and things like that. But I started to dabble in the weight room with my stepfather. And back at Clinton, we would go to the Hellplex at Mississippi College in the morning, and he would come in there at 5:30. He'd drag me out of bed and be like, "Let's go, man, let's do this." And I would, for a while, I'd say, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, managed to get in there alone and learn some things. And I had some friends at that time, and this was probably my ninth grade year, who were they were getting in there too, and they were way stronger than me. So I was a little discouraged, but
Yeah.
I kept going, and it turned into something I kind of like. I did it 3, maybe 4 times a week, and but during the whole time is childhood all the way to now, I was playing drums, and so I transitioned out of
Yeah.
sports, got into drums, and most people probably think, well, how does fitness relate to drums? Well, you know, I'm not lifting weights to get faster hands or fingers and things like that, but I will say from a performance standpoint, man, I could play drums for 12 hours a day. and I don't do that because
Yeah.
I work and have a life and am married now. But man, it has helped me a ton in that aspect of my life now. And just every day when I wake up, man, I'm fired up. I love to take care of myself. I love to research and explore new things in fitness. So, but yeah, my journey into training came in college when I was actually in the USM drumline. And we as a drumline would get together about 3:30 in the afternoon before rehearsal. And I got several of the guys working out with me at the pain center at USM. And maybe
Yeah.
some days it'd be two of us, some days it'd be five of us, but we would get in there. We wanted to get a freaking pump on before rehearsal, man. We were taking our shirts off,
Yeah.
and you know, you'd see at the end of the day who was putting in the reps and who wasn't. But yeah, that built a
Right.
great that was a great thing for us to do as a unit. And then right at the end of college, when I graduated with my music education degree, um, I didn't want to teach. I had no desire after student teaching to get into that aspect. I had several friends who were doing it, and I stumbled in anatomies. Dude, my dad connected me with a friend in Hattiesburg, and got a job working the front desk. I did not meet you then because that was 2011, and did that
Wow.
for a year. I left, ended up doing some other stuff, kept playing music full time, came back to anatomies in 2013 with the desire to actually get into the training aspect. Did not have a certification. I had been buying workout programs for, I don't know, since 2010. So I had 3 years of a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of testing out. I'd followed, Athlete X, his programs, Jeff Cavalier.
Yeah.
People need to follow him on
Yep.
YouTube, by the way. But
And he
I
put out great
learned
content.
a lot from doing his programs, because he's very science based and does a lot of research and trains a lot of athletes. And I just I felt confident that I could get down there and work with people. And it started with two people, then it turned into five, and then it turned into 10. And eventually, by the time I left anatomies in 2017, on a given day, we probably had 7 or 8 classes. I may be working with 100 to 120 people somewhere in there throughout the day. And I had personal clients along the way. But
Yeah.
from a relationship building aspect, from an educational aspect, and discipline, man, I learned more during those years of training about self and about how to deal with people. And it's not always easy. Waking up early, going to bed late, but I was fired up, man. And then transitioned
Yeah.
over to versus strength conditioning in 2017. Was there for 2 years, and I have nothing but great things to say about that place, from the way it's run to the members over there to the great friends I made there when I was
Yeah.
training. It's just Steve McAllister runs a high caliber business. And if I had to go back and do that again, I would call Steve to be like, hey, man, help me set up the business like you did, because he took care of us, man. And he wanted us to be our best, be fresh, don't burn
Yeah.
out. Easy in fitness, this, to get bogged down and burn out to where you're helping so many people that you forget to help yourself. You stop caring about
No,
what you're eating, and you stop caring
that's
about,
right.
you're going to skip your workouts. So yeah, man, that's
Mm-hmm. That
that's what
happened.
it was. And today the reason I'm living where I am now is because I'm married, and I am not in the fitness
Yeah.
business anymore in terms of being compensated for it. But I work out 3 to 4 days a week, 6 a.m. every day. I look forward to it. It's my time to go in there and take care of me, and it sets up me to have the best day, the best week, and the best month. And I don't ever see myself stopping. So yeah,
That's a
that's
great
what I learned
addiction.
from childhood until now with health and fitness.
That's great, man. I didn't know all of that about you, and it's cool to see how you get connected. Were you naturally a skinny person or overweight, or what were you your natural build?
Growing up, I always tell people, because they see me today and they ask me like, "Who did you play for somebody? Did you play football, or were you in the big leagues?" And I was like, "Dude, I wasn't. I may look like that now because I'm almost 250 pounds and 6'3". I was pretty average growing up, but I wasn't very tall. And in ninth grade, about the time that I had kind of winded up playing sports, is when I went from like 5'7" to 6'1", and I probably put on, I don't know, 40 to 50 pounds in a 6 to 7 month span. But and also I was starting to
Yeah.
work out, but man, I put on, where I am today, I put on all that weight between like 2013 all the way until now. I have consistently gained about 5 pounds a year, which I hope is all muscle mass. It may not be. But I was not
Yeah,
a big kid growing up. I was just kind of average, you know.
I got you. I always like to know that, and to see where people can grow from. I like reflection, and when I ask those questions, it also relates things, because you just explained, you answered my question that I want everyone to hear. From 7 years of consistently working out and challenging yourself and learning, you consistently put on muscle, and you didn't have to kill yourself or take steroids or anything like that. But
No.
it's going to stick and stay because of the 7 year, the way how much it means to you. So, well, my next question would, whenever you were personal training and group coaching, did you find a lot of correlation with couples working together, or how did it hmm, how did it go when it goes for um, from personal to group coaching? My real big question here is, how did fitness work with parents, and how did it translate into the family, and did they work together? Talk me through that as you observe that many people.
Okay. Um, I didn't have a lot of couples that trained together with me. I had, in fact, I can think of several right now at anatomies. I would train like the husband maybe at the early time at 5:30, and then his wife may come in at 8:30 or 9:30. Very rare did I work with. I did work with one couple together
Yeah.
on in a personal setting, and they would eventually they got into my group class because man, the group training that is something that I love, man. It's just building a team of people down there, and everybody's different. Everybody has different needs, but when you get everybody in the room together, and I love to teach, and so my whole thing is having a heart of a teacher. And
Yeah.
I got people who hated the idea of fitness or they didn't care about, oh man, I don't like this today because I don't want to be sore and I don't want my heart rate up. I had a knack for getting people to find comfort in the discomfort of what I offered them. And so you're talking about couples, I think it really it helps at the home, man, when the other person can see that this person is dedicating their time to improving their life. Because when you're doing that day by day by day, you're not going to see a lot of things at the beginning. It's going to take time, and I love the longevity game. It teaches you patience. But I think when like a husband is
Right.
able to go in over the course of a year and shed 30 to 40 pounds, lower his cholesterol, get off medication, become a happier and better person, everybody can answer that question. What does that do for your home life? You can do more with your kids. You feel good when you travel.
Right.
Hopefully you're putting better food in your body. Man, it's medicine, man. Like fitness is medicine. And I wish that our media would tell more people that, instead of shoving pharmaceuticals down everybody's throat these days, man. But that's the world we live in. But I did see a lot of positive impact with the families and even with the children, dude. The children getting involved. Remember Marshall Williams had a kids class there at Anatomies probably after you left, but he
Yep.
would personal train the parents, train two or three of the brothers and sisters in the afternoon, and it's just so impactful, man. It's so impactful.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I've went through a lot of friends that have come and gone through anatomies that I went to school with, and that I met through there. And Justin Bolware, I don't know if you met him before you left, but we went to college together, went to high school together. He went to the Marine Corps, and he doing training as well. I just love to see that evolution of people that go through anatomies, and it's a great place, and it's
Yeah.
an interesting transition. And but that's awesome to know that couples work together like that, and they, it impacts the family. And people need to find a place to spend time together like that, and to be able to train. And sometimes they need to know that they don't have to all do it together, and vice versa, they can do it together. And one other question that I'm interested in is, how is it transitioned? Because I know you dated your wife for quite a while before y'all got married. How did that how did fitness play a role in that connection, or that time? Do y'all work out together? Do y'all work out separate? Did you train her? How'd that happen? How'd you meet your wife?
So we met through family. Actually met her back in 2013. I have a stepsister who lives out in Madison, and they were together over Thanksgiving. And I remember coming over to her house. This was the first house they lived in, and my now wife was there. It's funny, yeah. She was actually training for a not a bodybuilding show, but like a fitness competitor, like swimsuit competition, and she did several of those.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look like obviously that competitive, appearance as she does now. I mean, she works out now and she looks great, but she took it really serious for a long time. And I remember we met one day when I think she had either finished a competition or was getting ready to do one, and she pulled out some photos on her phone. And I remember pointing to them, being like, "I don't like that. You're too skinny." But she, fitness is a thing that she does, and then a thing that I do. But we work better separately in that instance. And it's not that there's occasions where we'll go to the gym together and do something, but she enjoys her group training. And she goes to a couple places here in town where she's
Wow.
got a class of like 8 to 10 people. She can't do the real big classes, so she enjoys that small environment. And it's really just it's a community thing for her that keeps her going. And me, um, I just love it. And I could go in and work with a person. I could work out with 5 people. I could work out by myself, man, and be just fine. You know. So we do have that in
That's
common.
awesome.
We do like to work out, but we've kind of figured out we just do things separately, man. Because when you tell your wife, "Hey, we're gonna go to the gym, and I want you to strap on a plate and do some pull-ups," she's not too fired up about it. So she does her
No
circuit,
doubt.
and I do my strength training, and that's how we roll with it, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always like people to hear, you don't, there's a lot of people that won't go work out or won't join a gym because they think they got to go together and they got to do this, or if I go, they're not going to go. And, I know you don't have kids yet or you haven't experienced that, but somebody's watching the kids while the other one's working out. But I
Right.
think, like you've said and alluded to, that it's a great investment of time. And I would feel honored to know my wife is working on herself while I'm taking care of the kids. And that's challenging. You have to find your way there,
Mhm.
but it's worth the time and the investment of you go work out at your time and I go work out at mine. And even what I love about that is like a big thing that I love is preconception type, health improvement. And I don't know if y'all are planning on having children or not. That's really your business. I'm not trying to get into that. And if you want to share, you can. If you don't, it's fine. But what I like to see and what I did, but really important is, preconception training. You eat as best you can as a man. I can speak from my own experience of, get my nutrition the best I can, try to do everything to improve my genomic ability to give off the best genetic material whenever it's time to conceive. And then I had to do my workout separate from my wife, just like y'all, because I was based on strength training and she wanted to do something similar to what you were doing.
Right.
Did you ever know Derek Spike Richards?
I
Did
met
you
him,
ever meet him?
I believe, at like a CrossFit competition that
Yeah,
we had, but maybe twice I've met him, but we don't personally know each other. I know the name, like
I
you
got
just
you.
said. So
Yeah. Yeah, we worked out at his gym, but it was what I'm getting to is it was really cool to be able to work out and get, I was studying, 23andMe at the time. I know there's some crazy about that, but just genetics and how to give off the best genetic expression for children when you go to conceive. And it was amazing to learn about all that. But I love that you build that first and y'all know where you're getting into. And I recommend everybody, every couple, no matter what, give yourself time to figure each other out and what works best so you can do what's best. And I love that you have experience with couples together, but more enlightening is they work out better if they're separate at separate times because they have a more individual approach and there's no friction, right?
absolutely. So I told you earlier, I go and
That's
actually train now at 6 a.m. every day. I train from 6 to 7. For a big stretch there, for about 4 months, during all this COVID business, I did train at home a little bit, and we actually bought some dumbbells. My wife bought me a set of 30s and like I think a 45, and then she got some 10s and 20s. Well, I would work out 3 or 4 days a week outside on the deck, and I'd set a timer, man. I'd do some intervals and, a lot of like breathing work with weight. And then finally I got back in the gym, and
Yeah.
I was only going 3 days a week, but working out 6 to 7 a.m. And my point about this is, if you asked me years ago to get up and work out between the hours of 5 and 8 a.m., I would never do it. Now I was up training people then, but people
Yeah.
they would always ask me, they were like, "Well, aren't you lifting weights with them?" And I would say, "No, that's not what a trainer does. Like, you're there watching, you're coaching,
Yeah.
you're educating, you're pointing out things. You're more of a you're trying to be an inspiration for these people and a guider versus a, hey, let me show you I can throw 225 on there and impress you. It's not about that. And so
Yeah.
I do my
You're
work
right.
like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and I felt good. And then I started versus I'd work out at 1 or 2 o'clock. But now, man, so I think everybody changes over the years. And so I hope
Oh
for
yeah.
the longest time I can be a morning person and get up and do it at 5 or 6 a.m. But yeah, as I've gotten older, I don't sleep in anymore, and I get up and get it going because, dude, our gym is so packed. If you try to get in there between 4 and 6 p.m., you're not gonna get on anything. And so, yeah, I think it's good
Yeah.
for people. People should explore when their body feels best. Like, are you morning? Are you late morning, afternoon, or night? I know people who work out at 11 p.m. at night from a scheduling standpoint, and they feel good then. So that's optimal. Do you work out best
Yeah.
with food in your system? Do you work out fasted? I personally have always worked out fasted and have a ton of energy. That works for me. Some people, they need a full, 5-course meal before they go train. So I encourage people to experiment and figure out what works best. Give it some time. Don't just do it for 3 or 4 days. Give it a couple weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, and figure out your body. Because there's so much science that goes into it.
Yeah, you're right. I love the Michael Bruce is the sleep doctor of America, and that's
Okay.
different stages. People are different, and he is real critical. It's on sleep, but I mean, we spend a third of our life in the bed asleep,
Yeah.
or we should, and that he has different approaches to bear, dolphin, wolf, and there's another one I don't remember it,
No,
but
you're right.
you
I need
know,
to get more on that. Yeah.
yeah. His name is Dr. Michael Bruce.
I
He's
subscribe.
specialized.
Okay. I
Yeah,
subscribe to that email list
yeah.
probably.
He's real.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
he's got great content. It helped me a lot with. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
It did kind of get a little blurry there, but it what I like about his stuff is what you know, because I mean you're right. You have your own individual time to work out. It's a bio individual, look at it. Same with nutrition. Some people do better eating keto, and some people do better eating high carb, or so on and so forth. But it's just
Right.
finding out what's best for you.
You don't want to get me on
You
that
know
path.
that right. I know you're pretty passionate on nutrition.
Yeah,
Yeah, we all seem to find our way to it.
I just want people to not bash another eating regimen until they give it an honest assessment themselves. Yeah,
Thank you.
like, be
Yeah,
open-minded, try it.
right.
You're gonna figure out something that works for you at the end of the day, and it has to be maintainable. And I just, and I don't have conversations with a lot of people on this anymore because I'm not in the gym. But when I was, man, clients of mine and just people that were in there would say, oh, I'm doing this today. I'm eating this many carbs today, or I'm never eating a carb again this week. I'm going to do this, drink 120 ounces of water and have a grain of rice tonight. And it's like, not only is that extreme and
Yeah,
you cannot maintain that, whatever they were doing, they do it for a week and then switch to the next thing. And and people wonder why things never work for them.
yeah,
So I encourage people to find something sensible, ask a lot of questions, talk to people who are in shape, talk to people you admire who look the way that you want to. Now, that does not mean you will look just like that person. We're all genetically, predisposed to hold fat in certain places, or some people can just gain muscle by looking at a dumbbell. But definitely seek out
Mm-hmm.
counsel, talk to people who've done it, and then commit and stick with it. And if you do it for 90 days and it's not working, probably time to take a shift. But yeah, the whole keto and then carb cycling and hey, I'm going to eat 20% protein now, whatever it is, like it's all insanity, man. You got to do what works and
You're
do it,
right. You definitely are.
you know?
I was always wanted to know this, and whenever I talk to people that get into training and have trained several people like we have, it's one of those things that we have a job as a personal trainer to go in and get you the best bang for your buck because you're paying us as a client, and we have a job to get your nutrition to work and get your whole program to function correctly. But I see the same frustration in you, and I always wonder how personal trainers, especially in South Mississippi or really the Southeast for that matter, how they react to people's nutrition plan, because you work out, and then you train them and you make adjustments, and you you start seeing a little bit of improvement, but
Yeah.
then you talk to them and you're like, what'd you eat? And they're thinking, well, you were just working out. But you ask them, what'd you eat? What'd you eat? And you know how important nutrition is.
Right.
And you know how, impactful, like if they eat pizza 3 nights a week and go to work out, nothing wrong with pizza, but their performance is going to suck. And if they're trying to lose weight, it's not going to work very well. But, and that's just an example, hamburgers, fast food, poor quality food. We'll just say that. But I always like to hear how a personal trainer over the years feels about nutrition, because we, as clients walking into a personal trainer, they're like, okay, he knows how to work out well. That guy's just he works out 6 hours a day. He's a personal trainer, and he probably eats okay. It's not great, but it's okay. But
Right.
then as you get to know him, and you're like, please don't throw away all this great work by not exercising, by not eating right. Of course we're exercising. We're working out, 3 times a week in the gym, and you eat like crap, and it's frustrating. And then you listen to them talk about their nutrition, and you're right. People should be sensible. They should get in there and realize, hey, you got to eat what's best for you, a bio individual approach, but 90 days is it. And that's the one thing that frustrated me the most as a personal trainer, and why I moved more to health coaching. And health coaching, when I say I moved more to it, it was because nutrition had a bigger impact on me, and finding my own nutrition had a bigger impact on me. But it translated directly to fitness and my overall health. And like you said, you could, play drums for 12 hours a day from all of that translating over into real life. And, that is one thing I wish everybody could hear from a personal trainer, is how important nutrition is.
Right.
And that part there, I wish, you could talk to a personal trainer about nutrition before you ever exercise. And you clearly know all about that, and it's really important to you. So that part there, everybody needs to hear that more.
Hmm.
And your time frame, you have training, periodization, and those cycles, and you're alluding to it, but that right there is really important. And everybody, as parents, we have that with our children, and that part is critical moving forward for kids, and even your own relationship before kids. And I know my most of my content is for parents, but preconception is one of the most important times and most important factors into having a great healthy family. So I really appreciate you, really pushing for people to spend delayed gratification, because that I saw, as you were, yeah, as you were, going through Jeff Cavalier's program, and you transformed. I know I run into you a couple times in Hattiesburg, and I'm like, this guy's swole. He's huge, and he's obviously eating right, and getting the right exercise in, and continuing to grow. And yeah, I mean, you look like you definitely play a sport and football, really.
Right. Part of me wishes I had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's it's fun, man, to
Yeah, I
be,
mean,
healthy and in shape. And, I could do all of this weight training and eat all the great food there is. And who knows, I may die at 50 years old. I don't know. I hope to live to be 100, but I'm going to give it the best
yeah,
chance I can. And, just stay the course, continue making gains, and like I'm to the point now where it's not about how strong can I get. It's more about I want to get in the gym and have a really good time. I started a new program.
yeah,
Zach Blackwell, my great buddy, he and I, when he comes up here to play music with me, we'll always get in a training session on a Saturday together because we do music on Friday night and Saturday night. Well, our way to hang out is we're going to go to the gym Saturday, about 1 o'clock, and we're going to hurt each other. And I started
yeah,
a program on Monday, and I love it, man. It's something that I'd never done before. It's nothing hard about it, but it got me out of my comfort zone. And I look forward to going
yeah.
to the gym because I'm not competing with anyone. I'm not trying to put numbers on the board. I'm going to have fun and challenge myself in my own ways. And obviously break a good sweat and talk to people
Yeah.
or try to still build that friendship with people because there's a lot of people
Community.
that I don't know still in the Brandon Flowwood area. But yeah, man, people need to make it fun. Don't beat yourself up. Let the I will say this for the parents listening or any individuals out there who want to make physique changes. Um, it's not all about weight, but you do have to throw a stimulus on your body that is challenging. You know me, and we've talked about this in the past. I do not fathom, or I don't stand with anybody who is a high rep guy. Like, oh, do 30
Yeah.
reps, do 40 reps. I'm not saying that's bad. Everything has its place, but people should be
Right.
continually, workout to workout, week to week, month to month. The bar needs to increase. The dumbbells need to increase. The resistance needs to always be. The objective should be to get stronger. And yes, diminishing returns is a real thing. But for the past four
Right.
months, I was adding weight to the bar over time, and people would look at me and be like, "Man, how many days a week do you go to the gym?" And I was like, "I go 3 days a week." And they were like, "How?" Like, there's guys in the gym that every time I'm there, I see them, but I know they're there 6 or 7 days a week, and I talk to them, and they tell me, and they look the same month to month and year to year. And it's because they're in there
Right.
just there's no approach. They're just going in and doing this exercise today
Mm.
and this random thing. So my biggest advice is add numbers to the bar or increase your dumbbells, increase your resistance slowly. That doesn't mean 1 rep max. That means like what you
Yeah.
did for 5 today. Next week, if you do it for 5, it needs to be 2.5 to 5 pounds heavier. That whole thing. If you're doing 10,
Right.
if your 10 rep is 50 pounds, it needs to be, you need to try for 55. If you get 9 reps on it, that's
Right.
okay. That's not a setback. You'll just get 10 the next time. And so I'm really big on adding weight, track your workouts, do that for a long period of time. And guess what? Your body has no choice but to change when you're giving it a reason to. What's the story about the kid carrying the baby calf up the mountain? And in a 2 year time, it's a 2,500 pound bull he's carrying on his back, and he's making the same journey with it every day. And it's like, it's progressive overload. That's all it is. So,
You're
um,
right. Yep.
and it doesn't just apply to weights. It applies to your food, your water intake. You
Yep.
know, it applies to like reading books. If you read 1 day a week, or if you read 30 minutes a day for 2 years, huge development comes from that. So I'm really big, and I'll give a book recommendation here that I read probably 3 months ago. It's called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And I didn't know
Mm.
about the book, but I got a email from a guy I work in business with, and he sent out like 100 books in a Google file. And I was just scrolling down and scrolling
Yeah.
down, reading titles, and if I liked something that was catchy, I'd go to Amazon and look it up. Well, I saw The Compound Effect. I was like, I wonder if this is it about investing or is it about habits? And I went and searched it, and it was a
Yeah.
great ton of good reviews. And I asked a couple people, and man, I read that book in probably 4 or 5 days, and have started to apply those little things in my life. It's all about daily habits. whether it be
Yeah.
good, or it could be good habits or bad habits. And he gives examples of people, um, 3 friends. A guy, gains 30 pounds over the course of a couple years. One friend loses 30 pounds over, a couple years, and one person stays the same. And he just gives little bitty things and says, person one ate a bag of Skittles every day. That's the only thing he changed.
Yeah.
His health went into a negative effect, which caused his relationships to have a negative effect. It caused him to miss, kids' events and sports due to being sick. Person who lost the weight said, I'm going to cut 250 calories of my diet every day, and I'm going to drink X amount of water. Well, in 2 years' time, guy loses 30 pounds. So it goes through a bunch of examples in that book about how people can make changes, but you don't need to be worried about the finish line. You need to be worried about, or not worried, you need to focus on the journey. And before you look up, man, you've made a ton of good changes in your life. And people are like, wow, you're an overnight success. And it's like, no, I worked for this much time to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
So that's a book recommendation.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
I have to look that one up. I haven't read that one yet, and I've knocked out a lot. I thought you was going to come up with James Clear and Atomic Habits, but
I have read that.
That's another good book too in this same.
We could honestly do another this and talk about books, because, dude, I am a reading snob.
Yeah.
I got 2 books in yesterday when I was gone, and my wife sent me the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fired up. When I get home, I'm going to read, but I've got to finish another book before I'm going to start those 2. So I probably get a book from Amazon.
Yeah.
I order about 2 at a time. Every 2 weeks, I'm getting 2 new books in.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's incredible. That's the greatest investment you can put.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. What I like about what you're going to and what you're talking about is there is no finish line with that. But if you wanted to capture it, the best way I've learned is you are developing into a person that constantly improves. And if there's a finish line to it, that's it, that you become a person that constantly improves and that constantly progressively grows and gets smarter and more efficient. Like, obviously you can work out 3 days a week because you're a personal trainer, but you were trained before you got into the gym. I mean, you had coaches before you were actually a coach, and you don't have to be a coach to know how to work out correctly. And that was something that everybody, I want to make sure, and I harp a little bit on that, but your addiction to knowledge, and I say the word addiction is because it's not addiction. I want to take away the vilification of the word addiction, because it can be obsession, it can be whatever it may be, but what you're getting to is what everybody needs and everybody needs to do, and it's so simple, is constantly improve progressively, and the end game is really just getting to a point in your life, develop to a point in your life where you just constantly are improving. There's a philosophy from Japan called Kaizen. Dr. Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah, he's big on that Kaizen, and it's just he's big on that. Rich Dad Poor Dad. But if you look at if you want to pull the essence out of that book, it's just a constant improvement. And that's what is the greatest nourishment to us, is that seeing the needle move, intelligence, fitness, physique, strength, health, energy, whatever that may be.
Right.
And the one thing that I love about getting people on is they have a different perspective on it. Some drummers are going to watch this, or somebody's going to have a kid that's in drums, and they're like, what, most people think band, or like in high school band, or even, on the side band, they think there's no way there's fitness involved with that. They're notorious for eating junk food and not working out and just partying and having a good time. And you can still do that while exercising and enjoying, good food and being a better, band player, which guitar or drums, whatever that may be. And I really wanted people to I had to ask you this question, because you're a unique guest in this way. how does music, playing the drums, but playing in a band, or just talk me through how that affects your health and your wellness, and how obviously you said the fitness, how it helps you with drums, but how does that work on your health, and what part does it play in your health? Because music is healing to me. Music is medicine.
Yeah.
I am not musically inclined. My dad is. I don't know where I got to turn those genes on. They haven't quite kicked in, but it's medicine to listen to.
Right.
I love to hear music. I mean, and there's a lot of science and history in that. So, how does music, playing the drums, how does all that work, and how does it work on your health in a way so that you playing it, but people listening to it?
Man, I love this because, I don't look at it with music today. I don't ever think in my head like, oh man, I didn't get a workout in today. I'm going to play bad tonight. I think it's one of those things that, when we play a gig like last night, we played at Brewski's in Hattiesburg. The venue shut down a little earlier than normal. So we only played about 2.5 hours. We've played some weddings, some private events that have been like 4.5 hours, and it's physically exhausting, but you're having fun doing it. So
Yeah.
you're not really thinking about how tired you are. Right now, I'm a little sleep deprived, but I feel fine because we're on here engaging. But it's important when we're playing music, like we got to stay hydrated, and we don't do the best job of that. We get some freebies at our events, and take advantage of that, which we need to be better about. But you know, it's it's a funny story. I'll tell you. My wife was laughing at me recently because talking about how music moves me. We played in Jackson about a month ago, and we got done real late, like 1 o'clock. Packed up, came home, and I was driving on the way home across the reservoir, my windows down, just blasting Bob Seger. And I was sitting in the driveway, and the song had about 2 minutes to go. And she came outside, and the whole band was staying with me. And she comes outside and she goes, "What? Are you crying right now? What's wrong with you?" And literally, I was like, "Bob Seger's put me in tears right now." And like music today, man,
Yeah.
still does to me. And it just depends on what I'm listening to and what kind of mood I'm in. But it is so healthy, man, to like have, you know, gospel music, Christian music. If you like rock music, I lately got into a kick listening to a lot of old jazz music, from like the 40s and all the way through the 60s. And I love to
Yeah.
explore all of it, man. It's so cool. It's one of the most musicians are the most creative people on earth, and I think a lot of times they don't get enough credit. You know, you hear about them being, some of them are drug addicts, or some of them are bad people, make bad decisions. But man, it's a gift, and everybody I think should have a chance to explore if they have any talent, vocally, or I always want to
Yeah.
play the piano, man. I got to play at Southern Miss a little bit for my music education degree, and I realized I was like, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it, but like I knew some chords and from doing classes there, and I
Right.
kind of think to myself, one day I want to like have a grand piano and just be able to play, because there's something about it, man. It's just it's a beautiful instrument. But yeah, music and fitness, man, that thinking to myself right now, if like we were on a big tour playing, um, you know,
Mm.
30
Yeah.
shows, a 2 month span, you need to be in shape because you're running around and you're sweating a
Yep.
lot, and I don't know, like there's some drummers out there who have some really fast hands and feet, and you got to have some
Yep.
dexterity in your calf muscles and your legs and things like that. Luckily, we don't play enough the high energy stuff that requires me to have all that. But yeah, I do find that if I were in worse shape and didn't do the things I do, um, maybe I would struggle to play. Maybe I'd be fatigued more and wouldn't be able to last as long at a show. But I can definitely attest to tell you that it does make a difference over that long period of time.
Yeah.
Being in shape and just yeah,
Yep.
it's not real physical demanding, but it does help.
It does help with coordination, no doubt. Have you looked into anything like this? And this is personal. That's my personal question, not just for the people. Have you got into any type of biohacking, like Alpha Brain, or you know, I know we talked about Athletic Greens.
Yeah.
I think you tried it, or yeah. So do you know Joe Rogan's and Aubrey Marcus's product, Alpha Brain? Do you know who Joe Rogan is? Obviously.
I've taken, I think, 2 rounds of Alpha
Gotcha.
Brain. I know you're supposed to be on that stuff for a longer period of time to really get the effects. I'm all about what you're talking about, biohacking. Now, granted, I don't do a lot of research. There is another guy, you're going to know his name. I can't think of his last name, but his name's Anthony. He's a big biohacker. I'll send it to you when we get done with this. I'm on his email list. He's
Sounds good.
he's a
Gotcha.
biohacking expert, but yeah, he does all kinds of weird stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, Alpha Brain, that's one I'm familiar with. I am currently, I'll pub a supplement here that I'm on that I think is fantastic. A guy at the local club that I work out at, he works the front desk up there, and he's 60 years old, black guy.
Wow.
He's always happy, always smiling. We have the best conversations, and he genuinely cares about people. Well, he asked me, he's like, Nick, what do you take for multivitamin? I was like, oh, I'll take a Whole Foods multivitamin by Blue Bonnet. Been taking it for years. And he's like, what else do you take? I said, fish oil, Nordic Naturals. I take that. And he goes, what else? And I said,
Yeah.
basically whey protein. I don't do anything else because I don't have a need for anything, and I feel good on that. He's like, well, could I interest you in a company called Youngevity? So Youngevity, and it's a powder vitamin, multivitamin, and it's got a mineral complex in it. And he sat down and broke it down for me, and he goes, "Can I just give you a bottle of this stuff to try?" And I said, "Dude, I'm sure." Um, about the
Yeah.
third day after I woke up, I would take it first thing in the morning. Waking up on the third day, you know how we all feel real lethargic at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there's some days you're like, "Screw this, man! I ain't getting out of bed. I'm gonna sleep in today." Well, I kept waking up and like with a
Yeah.
sense of urgency. And yes, I'm drinking water, eating all the food, all that stuff. But I noticed a different feel in
Right.
my body, and I kept taking it. He's like, "Oh man, give it a week, give it a week." It got better, and then he kept saying, "All right, give it a month."
Yeah.
So I'm on my second round of this stuff now, and it's the Youngevity, and it's called, the flavor's Tangy Tangerine, and it's a powder multivitamin. You take 2 scoops a day, and I'm in love with it, man. It's the best I've felt. And so that's what I'm currently doing in terms of my regimen. Obviously, I take some stuff to go to sleep. I take magnesium before I go to bed, which I think is very important because, from what I
Yes.
understand, most of us walking around either don't get any, or the people who do get it don't get enough. And so real big on
You're right.
magnesium. It just relaxes me before I go to bed. You give me 10 minutes, and I mix this stuff with warm water. It's a powder. You give me 10 minutes, man, I'm out. Like, I fall asleep faster than anybody. So,
Yeah.
which we know
That's
how
awesome.
to
Yeah.
sleep. So,
Yeah. Magnesium, we over caffeinate, and this is real important for my audience. I say we over caffeinate, and that happens because everybody's always backed off the caffeine or the coffee or the. Unfortunately, energy drinks are too ubiquitous for people to not drink on a daily basis, and
right.
I don't like them. I don't drink them. I've found healthy ones, and I've found ones that are unhealthy. But magnesium is used up as we over caffeinate and caffeine period. And you're right, too many people are definitely behind and lacking. And there's actually 7 different forms of magnesium,
Mhm.
and most people are only consuming 2 or 3. And food is lacking in it because of over farming. And you're right, people need magnesium quite a bit, and it helps a lot. And it's cool that you have a great product. I have to look that one up, Longevity. That it sounds great. And
It's fantastic, man. Like, I've actually, I say pushed it. I've talked to 2 other people recently, told them, hey, you gotta get on this stuff.
yeah,
Just trust me, try it. It's $65 for a month's supply. So that's the one thing about,
that's,
like, really good supplementation is going to cost you. I mean, I know people who spend
yeah,
300 a month on it. Here, my thing
right,
with supplementation though is great, but don't forget that a supplement is supplemental to what you should already be doing. So people like to think supplements is
right,
that's my main thing. Oh, I'll worry about that meal later. Oh, I don't have to eat dinner because I've got this little 15 gram of protein nutrition bar. Supplementation will never
Yeah,
replace real food, but I think it is you need it. It's a necessity. And so I just hope that people don't forget what a supplement is. Just tell yourself that next time you go buy this fancy product. But yeah, I think we it's good to explore, good to try new things, and I'm always up for recommendations of what you got, man.
that's awesome. Yeah, the that part there, I'm real critical on that word too because it drives me bonkers if people want to drink their 2 3 shakes a day and not eat, or
It's
eat crap and drink 2 shakes. It's insane. And I like to call it additions. I like to vilify the word supplement and call it an addition. If you eat great, then you can add in more great nutrition because we can store up minerals and things and use them differently. And I believe it should be in that surplus mentality. And you're right, people do that, but yeah, it is a supplement, is an addition to life. And that right there, on my recommendations, I've taken athletic greens since I've known you.
great
I've
stuff.
taken, yeah, and I love it. I've got off of it a couple times, with life and stress and birth, and got sick, and it was like, ew, that ain't fun.
Right.
And then, I've got a lot of my clients on athletic greens, and that you just feel different every single time. I always like to try products. I've been testing products for at least 6 years, 7 years, and in many different products that I can possibly try. And what I love, a guy told me one time, it has to pass the piss test. Best way to say it. And the reason why I use that is because if it glows when it hits the toilet, there's your supplement. There's your money. It's in the toilet. It's fancy urine. And
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
can feel a little this. Yeah, I mean, people go to GNC and they get that little men's health pack and they take it, and I've done the same thing, and man, the pee stinks, and I it glows. You can turn the light off and it's
Oh
you
yeah.
coming alive in there.
I've
And
taken numerous amounts that
and
did that. I always thought to myself, how much of this am I actually wasting? And I was
right.
too, and I have never gotten on a good probiotic or had like I haven't done a blood test where they've given me my levels and all, but I will say, even some of the best supplements out there, if you have crappy gut health, um, you're
Thank
wasting
you.
your money also. Even if you buy the $200 life changing, multivitamin or whatever you want to
Right.
get, if your stomach cannot handle it and your digestive system is just not functioning properly, you're also wasting your money. And so that's another thing that people, if it comes down to it, to look into, get tested and figure out what's going on in there, because gut health is if it's poor, man, they say it links to all kinds of diseases and just tons of bad stuff. So that I need to do that myself.
Yeah.
I'm to the choir here, but yeah, probiotic or looking into improving that is going to help you not only supplementation, but you actually will absorb the food you eat. You'll get benefit from the vegetables and stuff you eat.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that you didn't know at the time, I didn't really share it, but up until I was 22, maybe 23, right in that area, I've dealt with chronic IBS my whole life. But up
Okay.
until then, I had, taken this and taken that and had all these issues. And nutrition, I was able to manage it with, as strict as possible. But if I deviated just a little bit, you're right. I wouldn't absorb the right food, or I would get sick, really sick.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to do Genova test. There's a 3-day stool sample test. I think everybody should do that at least once a year.
Mhm.
I did 23 and me and found out that I had MTHFR, methylation problems, what that gene is for. So coding and repairing genes and using methyl, adding a methyl group to, and I have problems with that, and that affects my children. And my wife had it. We tested that, and it's good because I know I need more or less methyl, and methionine and things of that nature. But B vitamins, there's different ways, and I believe you should test, man. You would really get a lot of insight out of it. I recommend that to everybody. When I've
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I recommend a continuous glucose monitor. That would be a great thing for wearing a month. You can find a lot of great information off of that. Like, one big surprise a lot of people have is oatmeal, or they have a big surprise from nuts like almonds. and or like I said, oatmeal, and you can test what works best for you. Because I mean, you don't really know what's going on unless you can watch it and track your food. And I think you should do your blood work. And Quest Labs has a great comprehensive profile that should be done at least once a year.
Okay.
Until I did that, Nick, until I really tested everything and found out that I didn't have any good probiotics in my gut, and that I had an overgrowth of Candida albicans in my gut, I wasn't able to kill it and replace it with the right probiotics and to establish the right colony. I had been killing it for years, and it would just grow right back because I didn't put something back in its place. And I had to, re-inoculate my large intestines so that it would grow out a great colony of good bacteria. Because, I could eat perfect, low carb, high fat, good vegetables, the best, cleanest meat, but I wasn't losing the belly fat that I wanted to lose. I was down to that stubborn 10, and then it would fluctuate. I could gain 10 pounds in a week and lose 10 pounds in the next week. It was very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And once I got it right, I could enjoy life and not be allergic to everything, and actually absorb my nutrients and my supplements, or, what food I'm eating, and not have a inflammatory response. And you're right on all that. And gut health is critical. And that's another thing that people think, well, I've been eating right and I've been dieting and I've been doing this and I've been doing that, but nothing's happening. Well, maybe it is something internal going on that's not properly utilizing the food, and it's hard to
Right.
work out if you're sick. And we've all had that foggy client that we both have had that foggy client that's like, are you okay? You're kind of inconsistent. Is it you? Is it something else going on? And
Right.
testing and figuring that out is really important. And when I first started health coaching, it was like eat better and work on lifestyle and things like that. And I
So
did that with clients, but I had to dig deeper. And as I dug deeper and got my health right by testing and getting more genomically based, I was able to do both. I was able to fix the healthy lifestyle habits and nutrition and, drinks, but also you can look at actionable data. I think you should get a Aura ring and
I thought about
track
ordering
your
the,
sleep. Have you ever heard?
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, they're incredible. I've learned a lot from performance based with my exercise and things. That helps me a lot. But I've tried the Whoop strap. I'm not a real fan of it. Don't feel right just yet. I'm still testing it. And to your point of try new things and try new things, the Aura Ring though has been the best. I recommend everybody to get one and just pay attention.
Yeah. We had looked into ordering one a while back. I think I stumbled upon it, and it's pretty high dollar, but I mean, like you said, you sleep most of your life. You better get that right, because otherwise you're going to shave off a lot of years, and that's something too. We were
Yeah,
just talking about exploring what's going on internally. First instance, I would tell clients is, hey, let's look at your sleep, let's look at your water, let's look at your food, and let's keep a log of it, and like actually do that for me for a week or two, and I'll probably find 1 to 3 things right away that we can fix, and then we'll make those
yeah,
adjustments and move forward. But yeah, sometimes people really doing everything right on paper, but man, like Romanella used to tell us, your hormones, that's the chessboard. Like if
yep,
anything in your body that's off, especially like women, to my understanding, I mean their hormones will cause them to put more body fat in their legs, or somebody have more fat on their arms, and it's like, well, I'm eating everything right, like you told me, but and it's so important
yep.
to know where your levels are, and whether you do it yearly or quarterly, it's those things are changing all the time, and sometimes you could be taking this great vitamin, but I know that when one goes up, one may go down, or vice versa, and so it's good to be
Right.
on top of that stuff, and no, don't just start taking stuff for the sake of taking it because someone recommended it. Like I recommended that supplement to you, but hey, you know, might need to read on it first. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, hormones are
and test it
huge.
as well.
Hormones are huge, and also gut health. That's gonna make the body run functionally. And then if something's not right at that point, then I don't know what to tell you. But that's where I
Yeah,
tell people to start is look at your water, do a food log first.
yep,
Use MyFitnessPal, and really your sleep. I mean, if you're an 8-hour person and that works best, go to bed at the same time every night. get up at the same time. Don't do the cycle where you go to bed at
Yeah.
10 at night and you're up to 1. That messes with your circadian rhythm and just all kinds of stuff. And so being consistent with sleep,
Right.
water, and food, and then after that, explore, like we said, the gut health and go get your level
Deeper.
because you know, like for men, testosterone's always what they say. Oh, my T levels are low. Your T levels may be fine.
Yeah.
It may be 3, 6, 700. It could be something completely different. So that's just a
Right.
big one that guys like to talk about. Let me go get that pellet, man, get that shot. But we don't.
Yeah. Don't don't add in before you know what you really got, and be precise of what you're doing. Yeah, you're right there.
Maybe do more harm.
So you're right. You could be doing more harm. It could be high, and you make it crazy. So are you? What are you doing now for work? I know you transitioned out of fitness as you moved to your wife's hometown, or that
Yeah,
what you're doing there?
right. So
So what do you work? What is your business?
I've been through some crazy changes, man, since I've been here. I didn't work for a while when I got here. I kind of lived off savings a little bit. Currently, for full time work, I am actually selling mobile homes right now, which is I've been there 2 weeks. It's interesting.
Cool.
I like it. I like the guys I work with a lot, and they're doing well. It's I've been so attracted to sales for a couple of years now. I don't know where that came from. I think it's just some of the people I follow and the books I read, like a lot of Grant Cardone. He's a big sales guy, does a lot of real estate. I
All
also
right.
have a business where I teach people, personal finance, like how to get out of debt, how to save for kids' college, put money away for retirement, stuff like that. So I help people do that, on the side, and that's, there's a sales component to it, but it's really a problem solving business I
Yeah.
have. It's been so rewarding because I have in both businesses, I have super great leaders who are constantly pouring into me, which is what I think this
Hmm.
whole personal growth thing that I've been on for a couple of years now, from reading to researching to listening to podcasts. Every day I'm into something, And it's not that
Yeah.
if I wasn't doing those things, I wouldn't be doing bad stuff. But I feel like my life every day I wake up with an overwhelming sense of what am I going to learn today? Who am I going to go sit down and
Yeah.
talk to whose life I could possibly impact in some way? And so, yeah, I'm working in those two avenues now, and I hope to in the next couple of years to be full time in my financial business and be a coach. Sort of like a Dave Ramsey. He does that stuff very well.
Yeah.
And company I'm with, we
Right.
teach a lot of those Dave Ramsey principles. And so, yeah, it's been phenomenal.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's unique that you refer to Dave Ramsey and Grant Cardone in the same sentence, because
Right.
I know they both put out great content, but they both go different directions. And it sounds like you're going to have a Dave Ramsey, Grant Cardone best of both worlds into it.
Right. Yeah, Grant's big time, man. He's big money, use debt, buy a multifamily unit. That's great, but a lot of people we can't do that. I mean, we don't have the capital just laying around. And he's got a great story though, went through a lot and has been consistent.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that whole theme of being consistent. He just stuck with something. And he's lost both of his parents, but the guy's 62 years old. He looks like he's 42 years old. Takes
He
care of
does.
himself. He's got young kids, and he's got an empire, man. But all he does, which I take from Grant, is he pours into people, and he wants to build
Yeah.
leaders around him, which is why he's so successful. And so, and I want to give a kind of a shout out to a guy here in Flowwood that I get to work with all the time. Jared Nelson is his name. He is the guy who brought me into the business I'm in with the financial services. And my friend Tom Smith from Hattiesburg, great guy, he linked me to Jared. And Jared is just like, he's been unbelievable because he does not have to devote any time to me. The guy
Yeah.
makes a lot of money, but is humble. He's everything is biblical with him, and he just pours into people on a daily basis, whether it's a Zoom call or a meeting we have, or we're getting together at an office and having an awards program. He's just all about teaching and leading and getting people to what do you want out of this? It's not about me, because like he's going to be fine, but he's asking you,
Yeah.
what can I help you get? Like, what's your biggest goal, or what's an obstacle that we can overcome? And so I'm thankful to know people like him up here in this area, because he, like I said, he could shut himself off from the world and be just fine, and do whatever he wants to do with his wife and family. But he pours into me and a lot of other people up here every week and every day. And meeting him has been a life changing thing for me.
That's incredible, man. It's always good to have those people in your life. I've got
Yeah.
several of those that I've met recently in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just it. It's like you get stuck in your head sometimes, and then when someone comes in and rattles your world and kind of shakes up your cage, you're grateful, and it humbles you and moves you forward in ways that you couldn't have done on your own. And you don't really look out. You didn't go searching for that guy. It just you got connected, and he fell in your lap in a way, and
It was
that's
a
amazing that you
thing.
find those people.
I'll tell you the quick story how we met. And it was, I called my friend, Tom Smith, in Hattiesburg. I just moved here, and I did the biggest thing that today I teach people not to do. I said, "Hey Tom, man, that little Roth IRA I started with you, I'm going to need to get that money out, because I don't have a lot of money saved. And so, would you mind, like, would you send that to me?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, I'll get it to you in about 24 to 72 hours." He goes, "But I need you to go have lunch with a good friend of mine." And he goes, "Once you go to lunch with him, I'll send the confirmation over and we'll get your money back." And I said, "Okay, well, who is he?" He said, don't worry about any questions right now. He said, "Just go eat with this guy and you're going to have a great time and not regret it." And it was Jared. And we went to this restaurant up here called Table 100 off of Lakeland Drive. I go and sit down with Jared, and we sat there for an hour. He, bought my meal. He just asked a lot of questions and wanted to see kind of where I was from. What do you want out of life? Like, what is your mission? And I told him, I said, "Jared, I want to be successful, man. I want to make more money. Um, I come from fitness. I love to help. I love to teach people. And I see a lot of people now online doing this stuff where they're pouring into people and doing podcasts, and just they're just trying to grow. And he goes, "Well, I do that. That's what I do." And he goes, "And I've been fortunate to do this for 20 years, and I've been real successful and built a lot of people." He goes, "Are you interested in maybe coming to check out what I do and maybe working with me?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't even care what you do. Let's go."
Yeah.
And sure enough,
Right.
I think it was either that day or the next day that I came into business with Jared as an independent business contractor, teaching people about money. Because you know this good and well, and the audience knows this. I mean, everybody has had issues, either good or bad, with personal finance, and it's something that people don't want to talk about. But everybody has some kind of struggle with it. And so it's our audience, or our market, I should say, is massive for what we do. And so um he's helped me be able to learn a business, get in front of people, and he's got me, really, the biggest thing is to stop thinking like an employee and think like a business owner. And too many people, though, man, they limit themselves to a job, which there's nothing wrong with a job. Everybody's had one, or everybody will have one at some point. But not many people ever explore going on their own and doing what they want to do. But they'll
You're
sure
right.
put in 8 to 5 for somebody else building their dreams for 30 or 40 years, and then look back, and what do you have from it? You know,
Not
very,
much.
very
Yeah.
little saved in retirement. Your time is gone. I hope your health isn't gone at that point. If you haven't been doing the right things. And so he's just really opened me up to the world of being a business owner. And it is not easy. It's not easy,
No.
man. You're
But
having to
it's worth
network.
it, man.
Oh, it's gonna be worth it. But
Yeah.
learning how to deal with people, learning to be
Yeah.
patient, and obviously learning what to do with the money you have, and just
Yep.
the whole process has just been phenomenal. Man, he had us at his house a few weeks ago. We were shooting AR-15s and shooting
That's
skeet with a
fun.
shotgun, and like, just, he didn't have to do that, but he probably
You're
had
right.
$1,000 worth of ammunition out there that we just ran through in about 3 hours that morning. And he was just like, "Yeah, this is fun for me. I like to do this for you guys." So
That's
that's a little
incredible.
about him and how I met him and my journey since I've been up here in Flowwood. But yeah, I mean, I'm very, very grateful for the path that I'm on right now.
That's good. And what I also see that Grant Cardone talks a lot about is, move and go to some place you don't know anybody, and, you know,
Mhm.
discover some different environment and survive in a place where you don't have those comforts right next to you. And that's incredible that you did that and you saw exponential growth and got to know someone like that, Jared, that's, pouring into you. And it's good that you receive it and gonna let your cup overflow into someone else. That's a incredible way. So how can we get to know you better? I know you probably need some rest from a rough night and or a short night, but
Right.
how can we connect to you? I know we're on Instagram's how we connected there. What's the best place for people to follow you and get to know you more and maybe work with you with the financial services and maybe buy
Yeah.
a mobile home from
Oh, yeah, it'd be awesome. Um,
you?
I'm pretty sure my Instagram name is just my, it's not Nicholas, but it's Nick, Nick, and then last name Manton, Manton. I'm pretty sure it's just at Nick Manton on Instagram. And that'll pop up on Facebook. It's probably a picture of me playing the drums or a picture of my wife and I at the beach. But yeah, social media, I'm not as active in terms of my posting, but I do believe in the near future that will change. I'm always one of those people who I get distracted on those things. So I don't do a
Right.
lot like if we go on a trip, I'll post a picture. Or if it's maybe my wife's birthday, I'll post something. I posted an anniversary pic, a week ago, but I'm not on there daily because I'll get on there and go down a rabbit hole. And
I'm the
so
same way. Yes.
I spend more time on YouTube, and she was giving me a hard time about that today. And so I got to do better, man. I think I'm going to do a cleanse, like I told you, coming up, where I take 30 days and don't do any of it. But yeah, somebody reaches out to me on social media. I love to talk to new people. I love to do Zooms and do face to face interaction with people. That's kind of how I operate my business from time to time too. But yeah, people can connect with me on there. Reach out to me. I give my number out. It's nothing for me to just. I love to meet new people. So
Right. That's awesome.
um,
Yeah. So everybody follow him there. And, what I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, your approach, your experience with it, that definitely applies. And, it translates into the financial world that we all have to deal with no matter what, from fitness to health and nutrition and so on and so forth. Thanks for coming on, man. I really enjoy it. And maybe we can get in here again next time and, talk about a specific subject matter, but I had to introduce you to my audience. I've always watched and I love building. The short time we were together, we really clicked and had a great, relationship going there. We did separate, but I've always watched you and admired you and your growth. And I mean, you kind of did what I didn't do in a way. I got out of personal training, you got into it,
yeah,
and you did a great, transition from front desk to personal training, teaching classes and moving. And, I love watching that and I love seeing you succeed and constantly pack on muscle. And I'm excited that you're married, and I'd love to see, I'm not one of those people that push kids on you, but I'd love to see you have children and, build a great family with your wife. And I don't even know your wife. She's
we're not
a,
far from that journey. So
yeah,
we enjoyed our first year,
that's good.
and it's been great. We actually live. My wife and I live with her sister, and so, but yeah, kids will be in the very near future. I'm thinking probably in 2021. Let's get out of this 2020 right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'd also recommend everybody to spend at least a year, minimum a year. My
Oh,
wife and I spent 2 years together, getting to know each other and living with each other, and then we started having children. But before then, I wasn't prepared to have kids, even waiting 2 years. So it was very maturing and humbling because I thought I had my act together and I didn't. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, man. We'll have to get back on here and talk again, and maybe we can talk about you know financial things in relation to health and how much important it is to invest in your health, because that's a big aspect. And everybody, I recommend to come to follow you and get to know you as a person, because you're just an incredible person, not just for business, but as a friend. You an awesome guy. So thanks for coming on.
it means a lot for you to say that.
Thank you, Nick.
No,
All
and
right.
if they want
See
to
you
follow
later.
also the band that I'm with currently, if they because we're more active at posting. Uh,
Yeah.
it's at msmoonlight.com. The band is called Mississippi Moonlight. But if they follow us
Yeah.
there, they'll see where we're going to be playing, kind of what we got going on. Like I said, that's a big part of my life too, is the music as well as the finance as well as the fitness, and so
Right.
it's the whole
Yeah.
of things. And so, yeah, I encourage people to follow that also.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, y'all definitely follow his music, and hopefully someone can, catch up and watch you in person.
Absolutely, I love to see people. So,
Thanks for coming on, Nick.
all right, Tommy, talk soon, man.
See you later.